Yeah, when I first moved to New York, I started going to this comic shop called Bergen Street Comics because I lived on Bergen Street, and they're pretty cool. They helped publish Copra, which is a pretty neat little book. They had like their own imprint and stuff. I mean, they were neat while they were around. But every time I went to buy comics there, they would just look at me like I was a fucking leper because I made them order Knights of the Dinner Table special because they didn't stock it. And
Hmm.
I just like I thought it was a comic store, but it was actually like a weird New York publishing venture. And this guy was like an ambitious New Yorker businessman who like wanted to deal with cool people and cool people only. And then I made him order Knights at the Dinner Table, and it's like he handled it with, you know, easily distinguished distaste. Like, with fucking giant rubber gloves.
And the like radiation screen
Yeah, and then one time I bought
or a
Knights of the
hazmat suit.
like he used Comixology where you have to like you put stuff on hold. Um, and so I put this thing on hold, and like Chris Bachalo was on Uncanny X-Men, and I like Chris Bachalo because he has like this weird, very dynamic, heavy black kind of cartoony style. Like it almost looks like gorillas a little bit, but he's got a good sense of movement on his pages. And so I wanted to pick up the Chris Bachalo book, and I went into Bergen Street Comics the next day, and the guy looked at me with pure hatred, and he said, "Here's your comics," and he just threw them down on the table, and it was a Knights of the Dinner Table, and it was this Chris Bachalo book, which I had not thought about it, but because I just put it in my folder on Comixology, so I didn't really look at the cover. Um, it was Emma Frost drawn like a fucking 12-year-old with a huge rack, splaying her legs apart like so hard that the logo for X-Men was like definitively behind her spread vag, and she was wearing like what I guess was her new costume at the time, which showed 99% of both breasts, and was in fact like a shirt with no middle. Like it only covered her shoulders and the sides of her stomach, and then there was a big X belt, and then short shorts. And this guy looked at me like I was a fucking worm, and I knew in that moment that it's like I am a fucking
That
worm.
is true.
That Emma Frost, like that issue of Uncanny X-Men is the second time in my life that I feel like, kind of spiritually, I got stuck with the Paris Hilton issue of Swag.
Right.
The
Well, that
first.
was John's fault.
Buenas noches, little roaches. As the sun sinks in the west, it's time to scurry from your nest, for night approaches for little roaches. And nighttime is the time you like the best.